So I'm not going to bore you with reading about all Johnny's bios because you know him as well as I do. He's been my friend for 50 years. But Johnny Isbell, I do want to tell you a few facts about Johnny that I think are very important for this time. Johnny Isbell has been your mayor and has served our city for over 40 years, either as a city councilman or a mayor. 40 years worth of public service. That's something right there to be commended with. Johnny has served on many affiliations. He's a Rotarian. He belongs to South Pasadena Rotary Club. He has been awarded the Paul Harris Fellowship Award, and he was named the Neighborhood Network Mayor of the Year, of the century actually, where we went to Seattle, Washington and received this award, and that was an honor that no other mayor had. So that was a great honor itself. He has been members of many commissions, many committees and so forth, too numerous to name. But during the past 40 years, Johnny has, in his spare time, he founded Apache Oil Company in his spare time. And also he is where he's president. Also he is the chairman of the board of Texas Transeastern and president of Isbell Interests, as well as Isbell Equipment Company. Johnny is married to Jeannie, his beautiful wife, has 3 children who he'll introduce later, and he's a member of the First United Methodist Church here in Pasadena. Now, before I bring our mayor to the podium, please focus your attention to 2 of the screens, one on each side of the stage, and I think you're going to like what you see.
Here in Pasadena, Texas, with property values going up, taxes going down, and award-winning schools. We love it here! We love it here! With a thriving local economy and low unemployment.
I love it here. We love it here!
And with all kinds of fun and interesting things to see and do.
We love it here! We love it here! We love it here!
Pasadena, Texas. You'll love it here, too.
We'll love it here. Now, as Johnny presents his wife with a dozen of red roses, we're going to bring him to the podium. Lisa, his daughter, is going to present this to Johnny, and he's going to give it to his wife. Let's give Johnny a big hand as he comes to the stage to give our State of the City for 2012. Mayor Isbell.
Well, thanks. You could have left out that 40-year business. But that's on and off. That's not solid. It's my pleasure this morning. Let me, if I might, introduce the family table here. My wife, Jeannie, who's already been introduced. 33 years we celebrated wedding bliss and our anniversary last month. My sons, J.J. Isbell and wife, Lori. Y'all raise your hands. My son, Kenny. Amanda couldn't be here today because she's home taking care of sick kids. I think they drew straws and Kenny lost, so he had to come to this thing. And then my daughter, Lisa, who I forgot last year, just overlooked. And then Susan's not here, and sister-in-law Jill and Nolan wasn't able to make it either. Wasn't it a great smell when you walked in? Did you smell the food? That was just some deodorant we sprayed around. Wanted it to look real good. Let me thank first, Richard was up here. Let me thank Richard and Sandra and Kirby and Betty and Linda Morgan and the other staff that helped do all this setting up and everything, the tablecloths and the silverware. And so they came out and worked till late last night. They really did a great job, and I want to thank them also. Richard, thank y'all. Kirby, thank y'all. Let me start off by saying we wanted to start this evening with something uplifting. We love it here because last 3 or 4 years I've had to get up here and tell you the truth about the economy and how the economy's slowing. Operating costs are going through the roof. Revenues have to be raised. I was tired of it. Our city council was tired of it, and I'm sure you were tired of hearing gloom and doom. Well, not this year. Not this year. This year I'm going to tell you that 2011 was a good year. Not a great year, but a good year compared. And that is a marked improvement in our economy in this great area here. Property tax revenues were down a little, but we knew there would be, and we planned for it. Sales tax revenues were up a little, and we planned for that. We saw positive results in our early retirement incentive program, and we continued to closely monitor personnel cost. Fitch Rating Service, the national bond rating service agency, said about Pasadena, Texas, and I quote, "Sound financial operations are evidenced by management's adherence to conservative budgeting practices and its reserve policy," that's the rainy day fund, its reserve policy, as well as timely adjustments to revenue shortfalls. That's what we do in Pasadena. Unlike the federal government, France, Greece, Italy, and the other European nations in financial trouble today. That's why I am extremely proud of our city council for making the hard decisions that they had to make for what was best for Pasadena. Council members, y'all stand up again one more time, please. You give them a big hand. Darrell, did you get introduced a while ago? You did? Okay. I didn't hear you, I guess. Our housing market has stabilized in the last year with fewer foreclosures, fewer listings for sale, and list prices modestly higher. With the housing cost of living index about half the national average, our housing market is a powerful advantage for Pasadena in competing for new businesses with other areas of the country. Commercial and residential permits for new construction, they ticked up a little bit last year. We were glad to see these improvements, which included projects like Chicago Bridge and Iron, Loomis Technologies, $25 million expansion, Apollo Healthcare and Rehabilitation's $11 million project, and NA Industries' $100 million capital expansion. We'll soon be able to celebrate, not only by going to Ernie's, of course, but restaurants such as Olive Garden, here, Cheddar's, and Raisin Cane restaurants right here in Pasadena. And we're also talking to Cracker Barrel, so it looks like they might be coming in too. It's the Cracker Barrel fans. All of them really quality restaurants. All of these folks have complemented our permit department under the able leadership of Melvin Emery. Melvin, raise your hand. Where are you at? I know you're sitting out here. Melvin Emery, which has turned plans around in record time. An average commercial permit now takes about 7.5 days. About as long as it takes the city of Houston to answer the phone or for you to find out who you really need to talk to. Sorry, Anise. Anybody can slash spending, but it takes truly creative thinking to reduce spending while maintaining the services that are necessary to attract to both our commercial and our residential citizens. I want to talk just a minute or two about public safety and the other factors affecting our quality of life here in Pasadena. Two of the very basic, not streets, not garbage collection, not red lights, the two very basic necessities of any community are an effective, experienced fire and police departments. Uniform crime reports, stats show 2011 nonviolent crimes declined by more than 6% in 2010. Our violent crime rate, we're at 2000 levels. That's 11 years ago. I want to ask Police Chief Mike Thaler to stand. And Chief, thank you for doing a great job. Give him a big hand. Police Officer Brian Dudley, who wasn't able to be here this afternoon, recently received the 2011 Award for Valor, first for Pasadena, Texas. for his heroic challenge to an armed bank robber. The robber, I'm sorry to say, was unable to attend the meeting today. He's serving time in a really hot place right now. It's kind of out of this world, if you know what I mean. If you don't, talk to Joe Horn. I can promise you, he won't be robbing anyone else at all, ever. We've had 1,825 vehicles towed over the last 3 years for no insurance. So if you're in a fender bender, there's a great chance that you won't have to use your uninsured motorist coverage. Our fire services were busy in 2011 with the graduation of 28 new firefighters from our academy, contributing to the improved response times and a 10% reduction in fire losses this past year. This quality job that they do is enhanced by the experienced leadership in that department. Fire Chief Lanny Armstrong. Lanny, you stand up too a minute. Fire Chief Lanny Armstrong's qualifications were recognized last year when the United States Secretary of Transportation appointed Lanny to the Safety Standards Committee for Hazardous Liquids and Gas Pipelines. Again, Chief, congratulations for that. Robin Green and his staff continue to oversee projects, large and small, all over the city in an effort to keep our city well maintained. I can't list them all, but some of the work in the past year includes 66 miles of new or repaired sidewalks, 12 miles of drainage improvements, and about the same amount of water line construction and about another 3 miles of wastewater lines. Thanks to the fine work of our county commissioner, Jack Mormon. Jack, stand up. I think you're right here in the middle somewhere. My God, great job, Jack. Great job. You know, I was kind of curious when you first took office about how you might be doing, but when you surrounded yourself with quality people like Dave Walden and Jack Rodriguez, who's here also, I knew you was going to have a great term. You know, you got to have balance in life. So he's got Dave and Jack over here as the balance of the good, and then he balanced it out with Bill Bailey. So there is a balance there, right? And Chief, if Bailey tries to get up here and get the microphone, stop him. But Commissioner Jack, thank you so very much. The LaPorte mayor is here, Louis Rigby also, and we were talking before this meeting about we just do not understand why we can't get all of your money for road improvements just in our 2 cities. But we keep talking to him, but I think, unfortunately for us, he tries to be fair with everybody. One of the projects we're all proud of is improvement projects. He will be adding a lane on each side of Fairmont Parkway from Beltway 8 to Red Bluff Road, starting January 21st. 2 or 3 days. And ending the late summer of 2013. That's great. Also, Pansy from Old Vista to Crenshaw, which is south, that's almost done. Southmore phases 1 and 2 are well underway and will be completed this year. From sanitary sewer lines to road construction to garbage pickup and drainage improvements, our Public Works Department delivers consistently high-quality performance across a broad array of services. Time doesn't allow me to mention all the other departments that deserve recognition, but I would like to mention one department in particular, and that's our Animal Rescue Group. Whether you're interested in saving money or you're interested in saving lives, our Animal Rescue has made a real progress in both areas with almost 1,300 animals either adopted by individuals or to rescue organizations for adoption, saving the city over $45,000 in euthanasia cost while making a whole lot of families a lot happier. For this year, thank y'all. And I thank my wife, Jeannie, and Lisa for starting that adoption program again. Thank y'all. For this year, the city has entered into an agreement with the Spay Neuter Assistance Program, better known as SNAP, to bring low-cost clinics to North Pasadena, which will help lower the number of animals entering our city facilities. That's just a quick overview of what our city government has been doing for the last year. We are a maturing city, focusing on resident satisfaction and business retention rather than just raw growth. We're doing that through emphasizing increased responsiveness to resident needs, maintaining common sense business regulation, along with streamlined permitting and solid incentives for new businesses to relocate here. Now I want to talk to you about working together, about a shared responsibility that we have here in our city. The city, the chamber, the school district, San Jacinto College, Texas Chiropractor College, and University of Houston Clear Lake, and our residents go about inventing the future together. Inventing the future together. You know, the future isn't just something that happens to us. It is what we choose to make happen for us through our decisions. When they dug the Houston Ship Channel, they didn't envision the petrochemical complex that exists along it today. They made the commitment knowing that something good would result from that. The people didn't build those first refineries, didn't know anything at that time about plastics, but today, plastics, polymers, and chemicals are the name of the game. If we are open to new ideas, good things can happen and will happen. We all enjoy the small town atmosphere that Pasadena still has, where people can get really excited about bringing their kids to the lighted Christmas parade on Fairmont Parkway. But sometimes we forget just how far we've come from our small town beginnings. We don't grow strawberries anymore. Pasadena's focus is, and should be, not only local, but international as well. We're a stone's throw away from the world's great ports. One that saw total tonnage increase last year by 10% and net income by 35%, just last year alone, even as we're hearing so much about business downturns. We are near the center of rail, air, roadway, and water facilities, which make us a natural international gateway. Ellington is now Ellington International. And they've recently added Embry-Riddle. A lot of you in aviation would know that is a major, major player in airline personnel training. Warehousing is popping up all over Southeast Harris County to take advantage of the expected boom in freight when the Panama Canal expansion is completed in the next couple of years. The fact is, we are competitive right now in land cost, taxes, regulatory environment, and residential housing cost. We've been discovered by companies large and small as a great place to do business, from local startups to corporate heavyweights, with over $303 million in capital and 820 new jobs in just last year. As proof of that, I'd like to introduce now two companies who agree with that statement. Academy has been around for a long time, probably close to 50 years. Some of you may remember the old store at Spencer and Beltway 8. In 2011, they opened a brand new superstore on Beltway 8 at Crenshaw. They had faith in Pasadena and have had for many, many years. We have the store director here today, Jason Morris. Jason, stand up and wave at the crowd. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nestle Waters North America, the Connecticut-based subsidiary of the Swiss food and beverage giant. They acquired their new Pasadena location through the interest of a Hawaiian-based development group. That's a deal that spanned half the globe to get done. Switzerland, Hawaii, Pasadena. Doesn't it just sound right? Switzerland, Hawaii, and Pasadena, Texas. We're just not a small town anymore. I don't know if Mr. Zacharias was able to make it. He was running on a tight schedule. Are you here today? Anywhere? I guess he's over bottling water right now. We understand that our economic success going forward depends not just on attracting new businesses to Pasadena, but also making sure our existing businesses are treated with equal care and attention, as they are the real foundation for any growth that we hope to ever achieve. Pasadena is home to many businesses that began and have stayed here for many decades. They too have had faith in Pasadena. One shining example, is John Phelps Insurance Agency. John Winnell, staff and family, y'all stand up a minute. Stand up a minute. There they are in the back. Thank you, John and Winnell. They have been working and supporting our city, the chamber, and organizations for over 50 years. 50 years. I can't tell you all the people that John has really helped throughout his life, and Winnell. Pasadena Independent School District, under the leadership of Superintendent Kirk Lewis and the school board, and San Jacinto College are under the leadership of Chancellor Brenda Hillier and the Board of Trustees, are doing their part to make sure a pool of qualified employees is available within our area to meet the unique needs of business, while offering the chance for a good-paying job. Shanjack's recent agreement with Texas A&M Galveston to provide a course in maritime administration is another example of leveraging the advantages we already have with a solid plan to stay competitive. A major part of any community's strength is the residents who make their homes and raise their families there. We must continue to explore new avenues in providing the highest level of service to all of our residents at the most cost-efficient way. That's why our Parks and Recreation Department, under the leadership of Kirby Cardenas, has served 230,000 participants, about 960,000 hours of quality recreational opportunities just last year. We have enjoyed tangible successes over the past few years in this area, and we are committed to seeing those trends continue. In closing, coming back to our theme of a maturing Pasadena, it all boils down to a willingness on our part to nurture what we have and to consolidate the best of what we are as a community, even as we strive every day to become better. You might say this is a new way to think about economic development. You see, economic development isn't that new plant or restaurant or service provider we see coming into our community. Those are the results of economic development. They're the harvest after the planting. Real economic development encompasses all the work that goes into making a community worth coming to and staying in. That includes infrastructure upgrades, of course, but other things such as recreational offerings, landscaping, and beautification efforts like on Fairmont, Strawberry, and Vista Roads. With our resident involvement in the community, health, education services, and the effectiveness of local government are increasingly viewed as crucial in the decision-making of business and industries. So when those things that make our city more livable for us, we are at the same time making ourselves more attractive for others as well. It's a double benefit, really, and one that I think may be overlooked at times. Working toward our future needs giving businesses the long-term confidence to invest in our community. That's what inventing the future together means to me. Investing in our future together. It's an ability to see the creativity that brought Pasadena this far. It's still available to each one of us as individuals and collectively. Let's resolve in 2012 to make sure Pasadena's story is told all over. We benefit from the enhanced opportunities and real economic development as the result of good government, a supportive environment to grow a business, and a positive community atmosphere. Let's all go after those benefits this year. Like the video said at the beginning, I love it here. I know you love it here too. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming, and may God bless you and yours, our great nation, our city, and especially keep his protective hand on our troops stationed around the world. Thank you very, very much.